Good evening. And first at 11, neighbors in Vancouver are remembering a veteran hit and killed by a pickup while he was crossing the street in a crosswalk in a wheelchair. We're glad you're with us tonight. I'm David Mulco. This was at Andreessen and MacArthur Boulevard at an intersection we have now learned is slated for safety improvements. Alma McCarty with our top story.
When I heard the news, I was incredibly disappointed, but unfortunately, I was not surprised.
Thursday evening, Elizabeth Prager set flowers at the intersection of Andreessen Road and MacArthur Boulevard in Vancouver in remembrance of a man she'd spoken with just hours before a deadly crash.
He's a very polite man, a veteran. He had a veteran badge on the back of his chair.
Vancouver police say the 74-year-old in a motorized wheelchair was hit by a pickup while crossing the street Wednesday night. Elizabeth says they were both in the cemetery earlier that day.
He stopped and very nicely asked if I could help him take off his jacket because it was warming up yesterday for sure. So I had to help him wrangle out of the jacket, and he was just the kindest man. And he said, "Thank you so much. I would love, if you could help me in the future if I ever see you." And I said I'd be happy to. And he went on his way. And then today to see the accident here really hit hard.
Although he was taken to the hospital, officers say he did not survive his injuries.
As it's very close to a school, it's very busy with pedestrians.
With the school year just around the corner, Elizabeth hopes drivers stay vigilant, paying attention to the blinking stop signs or those crossing the street with or without a safety flag.
I've also seen many people run through the intersection, either not seeing it or not slowing down.
According to a spokesperson, Vancouver is in the design phase of a roundabout for this intersection, though there's no set construction date at this time.
I think anything that they can do at this point immediately to make it safer, more signage, visibility, lights, obviously an intersection that's more controlled with a traffic light or a roundabout would be a great idea.
The driver of the pickup truck, officers say, did stop at the stop sign, remained on scene, and cooperated with police. They say they had no signs of impairment. David?
That's Alma McCarty in the newsroom. Thanks so much, Alma. Well, to what you might call some new revelations when it comes to Multnomah County's Preschool for All program. With the news, some people who might not have met the income threshold to be on the hook for the tax still had money taken out of their paychecks. Let's explain. It appears nearly 7,000 taxpayers are potentially owed up to $4.3 million in refunds dating back to 2021 and 22. But because those people did not file returns, the county doesn't actually know if they're due a refund or not. Okay, it turns out officials became aware of this issue through what they call routine compliance work. During a meeting today, the county CFO blaming the unique program requirements and the steep learning curve.
And there was a transition period in terms of being aware of the tax, communication around tax. We did a lot in coordination with Metro and the city to improve communication around the tax. It's based on if you meet a threshold, right? And so it's not automatically you earn income, you're automatically subject to withholding like state income tax.
All right, commissioners also appear ready to delay an increase on the Preschool for All rate. They'll vote on that next week. It comes as models from Portland State University show the enrollment need is lower than initially forecast. To get you caught up on tonight's other headlines now, an Oregon City man is behind bars tonight accused of raping and kidnapping a minor, and investigators believe there might be other victims. The Clackamas County Sheriff's Office says Derek Douglas Reeder texted with the victim while working as a music teacher at a nonprofit in the summer of 2023. He was let go the following year, but still owns a guitar teaching business called Slinky Strings. Reeder faces 2 counts of rape, among other charges. If you have any information on this case, you're asked to reach out to the Clackamas County Sheriff's Office. In Northwest Portland, the city says it expects to open the section of road right in front of the rubble of Centennial Mills as soon as Friday evening. That section of NATO Parkway has been closed for nearly 3 weeks after the century-old mill went up in flames. Crews demolished the water tower on Monday using explosives, and the rest of the demo is ongoing. Meanwhile, Fields Park will remain closed until the city can make sure it is safe and clear of debris. And Portland police have cited a driver after his car crashed into a restaurant. Investigators say the driver lost control this morning on Southwest Barbara Boulevard, then crashed into Baja Fresh. The driver was taken to the hospital and is expected to survive, though he was cited for driving without insurance and without a license. Okay, to a live look from our Vancouver sky camera. The Springs at the waterfront on this Thursday night, Friday Eve, looking out over the mighty Columbia after a hot and a hazy day. A reminder that we are still in the heart of summer. Matt's here now with the first look ahead to your Friday. Hey there, Matt.
Hey, David. Yeah, it's a very warm Thursday night. We're talking about temperatures that made the low 90s today. First time we've been in the 90s in about a week or so. But Medford made 102, the Dalles 101, Bend 97. So it was hot everywhere inland from the coast, which is comfortable in the 60s and up to about 70 degrees. So our 90-degree day count for the year continues to climb. We had 1 in May, 6 in June. That was a bit of an overachiever month. July was below average. August, the average is 5. Today was day 6, so a little bit above average. And our total for the year is 16, and the annual average is 15. So again, we're right about where we should be. Now, whether or not this is, our last 90-degree day of the year or not, we'll talk more about that later on. But right now, as I said, it's a warm Thursday night. It's 77 degrees outside. The wind is calm, and it's all good. We're running about 2 to 3 degrees warmer than we were at this time last night, so you can feel that out there. It's definitely a mild evening. Now, we had smoke in the Clackamas River Valley this morning. We're likely going to see that again tomorrow morning. Then that'll break up. The air quality is good to moderate throughout the metro area, and the smoke will largely be getting blown away over the next couple of days. In fact, that shift in the weather Friday night may come with a few showers. More on that later, David.
All right, appreciate it, Matt. See you then. Let's take you to Southwest Portland now, where the city is turning what was once a low-barrier homeless village into a center for addiction recovery. Though, as Blair Best found out, neighbors who have lived near the shelter for years say they are not convinced the change will solve the problems they've been dealing with.
All right.
The marks of decades of work.
Since 1984.
Phil James Peterson's Southwest Portland custom wood shop.
This is kind of my whole life.
His whole life changed 4 years ago when the city of Portland opened a homeless shelter, the Multnomah Safe Rest Village.
Well, it would be fine if there was no impact to the community.
Right across the street.
I see drug use, I see drug sales, all kinds of garbage.
His calls for help rarely answered.
We're left just calling 311 or 911, and hopefully somebody shows up.
The low-barrier shelter grew from 30 pods to 100. This fall, it's turning into an addiction recovery center for those who agree to drug treatment and counseling.
I mean, I would support that 100%.
I hope it happens.
I think it's going to be a terrible idea.
Ryan has lived at the shelter for 2 years too long, he says.
I think that's a joke. I mean, this should be helping us or something.
The city is still looking for a provider to offer recovery services under the new site model.
I mean, it's good for the people who want it, and there's a lot of people here who don't want it too, so.
It's not the kind of atmosphere for a business.
James is left trying to sell his shop.
If they turn this into a sobering center, I'll never be able to sell my building.
Risking his hopes of moving out of Portland.
A big part of my retirement's in this building, and I can't sell it. I've worked 50 years. It's like my life is disintegrated because the city can't handle dealing with the homeless situation.
It's like his life has disintegrated. Blair Best reporting. Meanwhile, the city says current residents can stay as long as they agree to treatment and to remain sober. If not, they will be transitioned into another shelter if there's room. Okay, the shelter's operator, Urban Alchemy, also telling us, quote, "We take concerns from our neighbors seriously when we have credible evidence that a guest has caused harm to neighbors or violated the standards of the village. Removal is one of the tools available to us, but it is a last resort." We'll keep you posted there. In Forest Grove, a coffee shop is dealing with flood damage, and just as they plan to move locations. The owners of BJ's Coffee Company says it looks like a pipe got clogged, leaking water all over the shop this weekend. Yuck, look at the floors. The owners say the walls, the floors, the cabinetry, anything touched by water has got to go. Now moving plans have been put on hold, though they say the community has been very supportive.
Getting texts, hey, I'm having withdrawals, what are you doing? Like, figure this out, what can we do? Let's get coffee. I've had a lot of people say, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, just let me know as soon as you're ready to go. I'll be right back in there and we'll be back buying coffee. So.
Meanwhile, they're hoping to get their mobile coffee cart up and running to get sales going again. Maybe they can bring it over to the